What's up, guys? It's Wolfgang back with another Dorkfish review, and today I've got something special. The Target's Holothon 2-pack Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2012 Footbots. Guys, let's get into it. And starting off, I want to acknowledge that I have not done a review on the regular Foot toy. It is because it is not one I have found out in the wild. I have chased them down, but just haven't seen one, so I'm probably going to have to break down and buy it online. Shouldn't be hard to get online. But, that being said, I did manage to come across one of these packs, and I was super happy to pick it up. And these things are amazing. Way better than I expected them to be. I've had fun messing around with them. The one on the right, pretty much so fully suited up. And the one on the left alone like he would come out of package, just so you can see the difference. So, all that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the box and accessories. And for the box, we've got some lovely art on the front. A few extra hands I wish the figure did come with, like the saw and the drill. But front flap opens from the top, so you can see you've got a little bit of a bottom there to set them on, and a backdrop. Let's just Velcro that back there. TMNT on the top with Nickelodeon. This on the side, nice stylization there. On this side, the Nickelodeon, as well as the number 7. It's the 7th release in the line. Although I know Tiger Claw, I think is who it is the other one. And then some lovely product shots on the back. And that is all for the box, guys. So now on to the accessories. Alright, and going into accessories, there is, for most of the hands, 2 of each, and then the swords, 2 of each, and then the specialty hands, like you see on the right-hand ninja, just 1 set, so 2 of each total, and not a set per. So, I can show you everything with 1 set instead of having to run through the entire box of accessories, because there's a lot of duplicates. That's what I was trying to get to in the roundabout way I did it. So starting with an additional head, you have, obviously again, 2 of these. Very, very nicely done mechanical heads with eyes popping out. The Foot logo on the forehead looks very crisp on it. I love the eyes on it. And then you've got the machine neck, which does move around. You can actually peg it out and then put this on the regular body. For the specialty hands, you get the really nice shiny mace hand that ports right into any of the wrists. And it is a very pointy piece and also a little tough to get on. It took me a while to get it on that one properly. So just be aware of that. This, on the other hand, went on this, on the other hand, went on very smoothly. Same kind of port process. And they rotate. Obviously, they don't hinge. You've got your main sword sheath that goes around the body, just like you see on him, and the sword for it, which is very, very well done. Looks great. And then it does fit in the sheath. Either way you put it in, no problem. Fits in great. And this is a pliable, very, very loose, but be careful. It is a pliable, very, very loose plastic. And I don't mean loose from here, I just mean that it could be easy to rip. So just be careful with that, but otherwise, very nice. And then you have the small sword, and I apologize, I don't know the technical name for this one, but it is also equally well done. And the sheath for it is actually attached to the back of the Foot Ninjas. So you can see there on the back of him. Boom, there's a sheath for that. And then you've got the other hands. Now, as far as other hands go, standard in package, he does have on him the fist hands, the striking hands, and then the regular head, which I'll pull forward for you. And they did a great job with this head as well. That Foot logo is clean. The hands are great. Even as thin as they are, they hinge very well. I was afraid of them potentially being really easy to break, but they're holding very nicely. And then the last sets of hands, which we have 3 more, sorry. The grabbing hands that will hold the swords. Very well painted, very well sculpted. Looks great. You've got these kind of relaxed posed hands. You could use them as blocking hands or just again, relaxed, stylized hands. And then you have these gesturing style hands, which could be used for like, you know, karate chops or other ninjutsu moves. Like maybe get a throwing star and some tack and put it on the end. It looks like he's throwing a throwing star. Some stuff like that can be done. So that times 2 is everything he comes with. My thoughts on accessories are what we have here is amazing. And there is a lot. So there's not a lot of room to expand except for in one way. And you've seen it on the box. And if you've watched the show, you've seen it in the show. There's a few other hands they could have done, like the drill hand and the saw blade hand. So it might have been cool if maybe we only got like one of each. So you still get 4 specialized hands, but 1 drill, 1 saw, 1 mace, 1 hook. Or maybe they're going to do an expansion pack on it where they're going to give you the other hands. I would like to see that. But that is what we get for accessories, is everything I've shown you. And I do like what we got. So I'm not going to harp on it much more. So let's move along to aesthetics. And looking at him, bringing them in, I think they did an amazing job. He looks great. Nice and matte. I mean, a little bit of shine, but, you know, kind of stylized. Very, very good. I like the texturing that they did. The wrinkles. They did a really, really good job with picking the black for the plastic. It looks pretty consistent, even though some of it's little rubber pieces. And some of it is, or most of it is hard plastic, but you got some of the rubber stuff. So it looks great, looks uniform. The paint where it applies is fantastic. I have no paint issues with mine at all. The eyes and the foot logo, I'm really impressed with those. They look great. That foot logo in particular, I know it's kind of small, but overall, it looks fantastic on all of the heads. They didn't mess up any of them. No real marking or scuffs. Great job on it. And the joints are hidden pretty dang well, honestly, for you to be able to bend and move it. So it's got a lot of good things going for it aesthetically. I think it's, for what it's supposed to be, pretty solid. So with all that being said, they look great. Now, the question is, do they articulate well? And to be honest, I think they are fine. There's some small things that maybe could be changed. You don't get the double jointed elbows or knees, but with this design, it's very, very hard to do it. So I think they accomplished making a really good product out of what they were having to deal with for its design and how it should move. So starting all the way down, you've got the head is on a hinge and ball peg. So he looks up. Ooh, he's a little stiff, but looks up that far, which is great. Only looks forward without using the neck, but he does have a neck piece. And that neck piece gives him a little more down. Not a lot, but it helps a little bit. You get, it's on a floating neck, so it's just a ball joint in there. But you get a little bit of tilt out of the head, not a lot. So that's where the neck will come in and kind of help with that. But side to side, very easy. And then the neck will side to side with them. So just make sure you watch that line up in the back. Otherwise, you'll have it all discombobulated when you try to bend it back. So shoulders here come out to about that far. I mean, technically they can go around, but it's going to be at an angle, which is what it is. There is no bicep cut. Your twist is here at the elbow, which should be expected. Depending on where you're at in the curls, it bends in about that far, which is not quite 90, but you don't really need it to bend into 90, I think, for the most part. You've got your swivel hinge there. Boom. So that bends out just fine. And then a pin and hinge, just like normal. And then the only thing different back here is you've got the arms, so as you can see how they sit in there. They still move. It's still the same kind of joint. And it's pretty well hidden. I like that you can't really see, unlike this where they have to cut in the shoulders, you can't really see that back there. They did a really good job, both aesthetically and articulation with doing that. So, yeah, looks good. They're the same joint. It's the same thing. So, now, there is no center cut. It is one joint. It is a ball joint. And this is a diaper that sits over it, so that way you can move it around. So turning, not a problem at all. Down, you get, with the legs, you're going to get more, but you don't really get a crunch forward. and you don't really have a crunch back, that is what it is. If you're going to get it to lean forward at all, you're going to have to do it with the legs, right? So that's just what it is. Again, it's just what it is. It kicks out pretty well, and kicks up great. Knee, little past 90, not bad. Still get your swivel in here. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention you do have your thigh cut in there. So boom, no problem. Ankles mine are a little looser than I'd like them to be honest. But kicks down that far, kicks up that far, and then has a good rocker or pivot. So overall, I would say in a lot of areas, pretty good for what the design is. And that's the thing is, when you look at a figure like this, I know I just leaning them against it instead of standing them, but the thing is, when you look at a figure like this, you have to realize it's a stylized design. And so a lot of things that they're going to do are based around maintaining that design, especially when you look at a company like Neca. So the question then becomes, how much crap can I give them for something not being as articulated as another figure in maybe even the same line, when they keep it so close to the design and still give it good functionality in places. So I'm not saying it can't be better, but I am saying that they did a phenomenal job, in my opinion, for what this is. And I'm assuming, take the arms off the back, that it's pretty much so the same as the other Foot Ninja. I'm assuming. I, again, haven't seen it in person, so I don't know. But that being said, I think it works. I like it. So now let's get into size comparison. All right, and the first and most obvious comparison is going to be with the Shredder from that same line, same series, and I like the look. I think it's good. Next, we have him next to the Super 7's Ultimate 2003 Leonardo and the Mezco Eastman Laird Leonardo. And I don't really hate the scaling on this. Honestly, I think either one you can fudge, because depending on your take of the turtles, they can be pretty short or pretty big, but overall, I like this. And last but not least, here we have them directly next to the turtles, all from this line. And he looks great. Very happy with that. All right, and it's time to wrap this up. A quick note and a little bit of a bummer for me. One of the wrist pegs on one of the figures did break as I was removing it. I was being as gentle as possible. I also did my due diligence about heating it up and everything else. It's just a freak accident. It happens. These are kind of expensive figures to have those kind of accidents with, but it's not anything I can't mod and fix. And obviously I've got the hands on there doing their job, so it's not horrible, but it's still, you just got to be careful with how thin these pegs are. That being said, my overall thoughts, without that, I still enjoy these. They turned out great. I like how they look. I think they're a lot of fun. They're not for everyone. They are up there in price, even to pick up in public or in person. So I imagine the secondhand market on these are probably going to be a little crazy. So that is what it is. But if you're a collector for the show, I say get them. You'll love them. So all that being said, I'm going to bring this review to an end. Thank you so much for watching it. I appreciate you guys. Comment down below and let me know your favorite TMNT character or series. Is it the 2012, 2003, the original 80s series? Let us know. Thank you again. Wolfgang's out. Later, guys.